Alrighty, what a day. I'm here live. It's about 5:50 p.m. I'm 5 minutes late, and I'm actually fifty minutes late. But we're starting this show. We've had some computer difficulties, but you learn as you go. So, no complaints there. We're getting ready to come on through live. We have about three different things we're going to do tonight. This show will run pretty close to, well, I'm going to give it at least 75 minutes to 90 minutes. So right now, we're going to go to about 7, this is almost 6 p.m. Mountain Time. So we're going to run it right up to about 7:30 8 p.m. Mountain Time. So we're going to get the time in for sure. Things are moving. I'm excited about a lot of different things that are coming on into my life that's going to really unlock some doors, not just for myself, but for other people. So we're going to give you all a chat room here so that you can join me and I could see you in our chat room. And we're definitely going to kick forward. So while I'm waiting for my chat to set itself, and it's setting right now through divine power and by divine grace, may all who get a chance to watch the show live tonight at this time that we're coming on, may you be blessed in more ways than one. This is a golden opportunity to receive an unusual, I'm going to call it that, an unusual vibration. There's something that's been going on with myself, and it's very positive, and I'm not going to call it an experimentation. I'm going to call it a level of an advancement that's actually taking place here. And I know for a lot of other people on the planet, you might be feeling the same way. We are definitely in this fifth dimensional vibration right now, and we're getting a golden opportunity to be able to share this vibration with the world. So, as I continue with this, I see and decree that what is about to happen for a lot of people on the planet is going to be very unique, despite all the, I'll say, shenanigans that you see going on from the news media to even online on the internet. All of this things that you're seeing that show themselves as ugliness or negativity, you're going to see the bottom of that kind of drop out. There's a feeling that that you won't see too much of that. You're going to actually experience more of the golden era of time that is to happen, because there's so many people that are creating these opportunities for this to actually take place. And of course, those who have walked the path of mystics and sages for eons, it has always appeared to be a lonely path, but now it's a very interesting path, because all of the dimensional realms are like beginning to blur into each other. So there's an opportunity to see and experience other aspects of your soul come right in front of you, so you get a chance to heal them, you get a chance to balance them, purify them, transform, and then go beyond, which is to transcend them altogether. And this is what the Aboriginal shamans have been talking about for eons, retrieving one's soul fragments of the soul back into the being, into that current temple, that current body. So I'm going to give this out. Welcome with divine grace, blessings of remembrance. This is an age of remembrance. And I'm definitely, I was going to bring my other book on board, but I've been doing some meditating today, and the good, late, wonderful Reverend Ike keeps popping into my cranium. This guy keeps popping into my cranium. So I'm going to pick some things out from him. So he's more like part one. And then we're going to move into some very powerful crystal meditations. So if you have any crystals around you, I suggest that you seek them, get them. It doesn't matter how big they are or how small they are, but you've got some crystals that are going to call out to you, that are going to make you kind of comfortable this evening. It's going to be a part of your journey, and we're going to travel, okay? We're going to travel to a place where you know yourself. And we're going to go into what is called the Akashic area of your life. So you're going to get a chance to kind of explore your Akashic levels. We call them records. This is where one experiences can go forth, back and forth in time and experience your past lives. And then what's going to happen is whatever parts or segments that I've kind of read from here with uh, I'm calling the Great Reverend Knight. Some of the parts here that I'm going to bring into being, then what's going to happen is going to make better sense to you as you hear it. And then what's going to happen is that you're going to have some vibrations that are going to like literally pop through you. Okay? And as this pops through you, you're going to realize that you're actually in a better position than you've been before. So this is going to be an opportunity. Now, there's so many things in here, and I've read this book and I've studied this book over the years, and he's definitely got some things here that kind of wake you up. And we're going to make sure that you wake yourself up tonight. If you haven't been awakened on any level before, most of you that watch and follow my programs, you are definitely awake. Okay? And you're going to realize that you play a very strong part. And you're going to realize that you have this key, and you're going to realize you are the code. You're going to realize you are the door, and you're going to realize that you're the one that does all the unlocking. You're the one that's knocking on the door all the time. So you're going to have an interesting experience. So I just need to find a particular chapter. I'm going to close the prayer out with, and so it is, so mote it be. And we're going to find that treasure spot with yourself that's going to wake you up. So we're going to work with the mind. We're going to work with the subconscious mind. We're going to change your world. And this is essential, changing your world. And those of you who listen to the Blog Talk Radio 30-minute segment, I've been talking about the best that you can be. The best that you can actually be is to be you. But the only way you can get there is you have to do a lot of releasing. You got to let go of some old data, old keys. You know, you got to hang up some old keys. And then you could step in to this reality. And one of the things I've read from Reverend Ike last week was how sweet it is. You know, we kind of touched that a little bit, but what we're going to do is we're going to move you from the state of ordinariness to the state of extraordinary possibilities. And all you have to do is you got to claim. Now, people say, okay, well, I see this guy talking about this, and sometimes I don't see him with anything. With me, it's not about a physical thing, it is more the spiritual thing. Because one thing about it, you can't take anything from this physical plane so much, and you don't want to carry too much of it into another plane because it already has a quality that attached it to this existing plane. So we learn how to just enjoy what it is as it is, let it go, let it stay here, and then as you do that, you find yourself being free. So I'll find this chapter in a second here, because there's something about it, and I'm already hearing, just to kind of go with it. One of his strong points was to understand what we call the name of the divine. The name of the divine was known as I am. And he said, whatever you place after that, you become. So, and it is a word, those three letters are very commanding unto itself. If you understand that when you say I am feeling okay, I'm feeling not okay, I'm feeling, when you say what you say, what happens is that you kind of pull yourself in that direction. You kind of pull yourself in the direction that you are in essence describing. So it's always very important to watch how you say, what kind of energy are you putting forth, in the words that you use. Because if you're not understanding the words and the power behind the words, then what happens is you succumb or you fall into a certain pattern of behavior. When you fall into a certain pattern of behavior, you ever heard that phrase that that's not of you, that's not like you to do that? So what happens, you kind of fall in to a certain setup. And the setup is done purely by your thoughts. The setup is purely done by your words. And when that is happening, what happens to you is that you kind of lose sight of where you are going. So you don't want to lose sight of who you are. You don't want to do that. It's very important that you learn how to build yourself up and rebuild yourself. Like, it's a continuous process that you are doing when you are building yourself up. So we want to make sure, and you see me looking around here, because I know I can feel a vibe where somebody's going to call me smack dab in the middle of this show. It always happens. So what happens is that a lot of us sometimes are unaware of how we kind of push ourselves into a corner. And when we push ourselves into this corner, it doesn't give us enough space or enough room. So we don't feel like we are satisfied on any level. We don't feel like it's our time, it's our moment. So often we find ourselves having to kind of cheer ourselves up. How many times have you found yourself striving to cheer yourself up? Now, what happens is when you got to cheer yourself up, like, you got to come with a lot of energy. You got to come with a lot of excitement. And it's always important about who is around you when you're doing this. So sometimes, like Napoleon Hill said, have a board. You have this mind, this creative mind board around you that helps you do things that you normally couldn't do for yourself. Like, for instance, and I think it was in Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, he talked about how the guy who was doing Chrysler at the time, a long time ago, the guy who was doing Chrysler, he couldn't read. So he had people in position to read for him, to do the research, and then he would ask them what information did they find. And because he had this inner drive to remember things, the information that he heard from these other individuals would stick deeply inside his consciousness. So therefore, he was getting information from all angles. And that's only because he couldn't read. Now, sometimes people do that in a different way today. We see it. We kind of call it, we don't mean to do it, but we do it. We say, oh, that person is lazy because they don't want to learn how to read. Some people have learning disabilities, but there's some people who do not have learning disabilities. They just want to kind of ride on other people's back for that person to give them information. I have a long time kind of friend, and she has a habit of doing that. She has all of the internet, all of the library laid out in front of her, but she won't do the work. She won't take the effort to kind of delve into it herself and see, how it works if she comprehends it. And 9 times out of 10, she'll call me to clarify it for her. Or sometimes she'll call me and I don't bother to clarify it. And the only reason is I want her to exercise her own mind. And she'll say, well, Bay, you understand it. Well, I only understand it because on some level, because every day I'm knocking at the door, I'm knocking on the wall, I'm rending the mountain, I'm making it smooth where it needs to be smooth for myself. So I'm constantly thinking about something. I'm constantly analyzing something. If I don't understand, I try to look it up. I try to research it. I do what I can to try to find the answer for myself. That's the only reason why I kind of know something. But I don't know the whole pie. I know I don't know the whole pie, but I know most of the pie. So I always try to encourage her to not be afraid to look at the material, but also not be afraid to question the material either. It's important for people to question what they see in front of them, not just gulp it down like it's there. So what we want to be able to do is I'm going to take a passage from him. I'm trying to find the right one. I mean, all the things in here are right. All of them are here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pull something out that's very, very important. And we're going to turn it, we're going to come back to it later. So I need to kind of mark it because I see the one that I want to use here. And I'm just going to kind of give you the title of it, so to speak, because you've heard a decree or affirmation that I've done that was called spiritual readiness. And then you heard another decree or affirmation that I did not too long ago that dealt with attuning and aligning, or alignment and attunement. So like putting yourself in line directly with something and then tune your energy toward it. Okay? And this is kind of the same thing that he is saying here. The chapter is 29 and says, I am somebody. So, in his day, he was using a biblical stuff to prove what he was talking about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you what he calls a science of living principle. And for whoever tuned in right now, this is where it's all coming from. This guy right here Reverend Frederick Eikenkroter, better known as Reverend Ike. This book has been around like forever. So I've had this book for a long time. This is probably my second or third edition. I have this one since 2009, but I've had some of the other ones prior to this. And he says the science of the living principle is there's only one thing in life that nobody can take away from you. There's only one thing in life that nobody, not one person, can take away from you, and that is the truth of you. Now, this makes sense because on yesterday's Blog Talk Radio program, there was a continuation of be to be the best you that you can be is to be yourself, which is really about defining who you are, uncovering who you are, taking a look at who you are, and then kind of boosting your energy up, even if it means one day at a time. So he says, and that is the truth of you, the truth that you are a child of God. So without dropping in to any of the biblical stuff that he was using, I'm just going to call out some points, and I just want you to take it in. He says, you are what you think you are. You are what you think you are. So you kind of like play with that. You are what you think you are. So when he said, I am, those three letters, I, capital A, capital M, was the name of God, and God describes self. So you're this at one with God, you're at one with this creation called God, or universal mind, God mind, universal laws, universal principles, universal virtues, you name it, the principalities of things. Then what happens is that you take on that energy. So if you said I am sick and you put some emotional power behind it, eventually you are sick. If you say I am tired and you put some emotional weight behind it, you draw that into your life. Even when they talk about Abraham and Hicks, it says the same thing. Your mind is running all the time. You're like a computer. You're running thoughts, blips of ideas and thoughts all the time. So you might say, you get up in the morning, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what to do. I don't feel good about myself. I don't feel good about the people around me. And then next thing you know, you're telling the universe with a lot of emotional punch behind it what you don't want, but really what the universe recognizes is that emotional energy. Reverend Ike used to always talk about and call it a feeling, and now everybody's talking about it. He used to say the feeling gets the blessing. How you feel about something is how something is going to come into your life. So let's say if you feel at this point that you're going to be wealthier, and you really truly understand and you feel that deep inside your core, then what happens is you in reality build that out. In other words, so much energy comes from the universe because you're saying yes to the universe. At the same time, yes, this is what I want, or yes, I don't want that. So the universe sees the picturization of it, the outward picturization of it, and it captures the feeling that goes with it. So when it gets the picture and the feeling together, or the ideal image and the feeling together, then you get this result, which is a manifestation that becomes a materialization. See, in the cult world, they call it, you're going to materialize something and you're going to dematerialize something. They don't say you're going to manifest something and you're going to demanifest it. They say you're going to materialize something and then you're going to dematerialize. In other words, you're going to erase it out of your image where you can't see it, erase it out of your field. So when you say, I am sick, if you got too much energy on the emotional, it gives weight to those words, and next thing you know, you're feeling sick, and people around you are feeling sick. People look like they sick, and you start looking like you're sick. Then you recognize that you're sick, because you see them sick, and they tell you that you're sick. So it just keeps coming back to you on what you're feeling, what you're seeing, what you're saying, what you're doing, and how much emotional energy are in your words, because your words begin to become like a weight. And there's a certain frequency of energy, vibration, rolling around off your body, where if there's any sense of doubt, doubt will expand itself in that vibratory field of light. If there's an illusion, that's going to materialize and expand. But if you're feeling better, that's going to materialize. It has to balance itself out. Now, once it kind of balances itself out, it doesn't take long to stay balanced. See, and then when the negative was the weighted piece, once it's become overridden and it rose to the surface, meaning you were getting it out of your system, and then you were taking in the positive side began to outweigh the negative side, and then this side just kind of evaporated. So it's the same here. So what he is saying is, as you lift yourself up, he says you are what you think that you are. If you think you are a nobody, you will be a nobody. So if you think no one loves you, then no one will love you, because why? You're radiating that thought out into the world, into your environment. You're putting forth that vibration so people can feel it. But if you believe in yourself as a somebody, you will lift yourself up. You will be somebody. So what happens, you'll move your energy forward so people can see it. This is what I was talking about yesterday. You don't need to mask the feeling. You need to let the feeling loose. Let the feeling loose. You don't need to mask the feeling. Let the feeling loose. You don't need to cover the feeling. Let it loose. You don't need to sit on the feeling. Let it loose. Now, if it's something that kind of matches your vibration, where you feel good about it, then you're going to be overflowing with that energy. You're going to be excited with the energy, and then you can't help but feel the energy. You can't help but have an experience. You can't help from expecting it to be just right without you trying to bend it in any kind of way. You're just, as like Dr. Michael Beckwith says, you're showing up. You're showing up for you. It's just like if you went to a job interview, part of that job interview is showing up on time, showing up ahead of time, showing up prepared, showing up looking right, showing up thinking right, showing up feeling right, and not being perturbed by anything, not being pushed aside. Your total attention is on what you are seeking, and in this case, you're seeking something that connects with your particular vibration, because you're going to what? Match the vibration. So if you already know that you're somebody, then you tell yourself that you are what you want to be. Tell yourself that you are having what you want to have and doing what you want to do. So let's say when I'm creating artwork, I look at a blank canvas, but I don't want a blank canvas. I don't desire to maintain that blank canvas. So when I gaze at that blank canvas, I intend to draw an image that I see in there. And this is an actual exercise for all of you who are artists. If you look at a piece of paper, a blank piece of paper, clear your mind and stare. It's like your paper or canvas crystal ball, because eventually you'll see vibrations pop up just on the surface of your canvas, on the surface of paper, on the surface of wood or metal. You'll see the vibration pop out. And the one that is the strongest is the one that you're trying to bring out of the canvas. So you're not just laying paint onto the canvas, you're laying energy through energy through energy into this energy called canvas. This materialization called canvas. But all the different degrees of light, color, energy, sound, feeling, always a feeling, always capturing the mood, that's what's showing up. And I always, recently in the past 3 years or 4 years, when I get tired of working on a painting, I make sure I take a picture of that stage, the completion of that stage. That way, I take a couple of pictures. That way I say, okay, I might want to print these out and then work from there. So I have 4 different stages, 5 different stages of a painting where I am feeling the picture getting clearer and clearer and clearer. So clear that halfway through the picture is talking back to me. The images in the picture are talking to me. Inwardly, I'm having this conversation. So it's the same here. The canvas says, I am something. You must find it on me. Find it in me. You're like this living canvas. You are somebody. So you give it a distinction about who you are. You describe who you are. But you don't lock in the description. You leave it a tad open so that when others see you, they can acknowledge what they see. In other words, they will be in agreement with you. So therefore, the little slither of the doorway that you left open was enough for someone to deposit something positive that they know about you, that they've experienced with you, that they've seen you do, that they've heard come from you. And I got this rocking vibration because it's starting to flow. So he says you got to, in order to lift yourself up out of where you are, you've got to claim and declare so that you can change your conditions. But in order to change the condition, change what's outside, you have to change what's on the inside. You have to remake yourself. Well, we see that all the time. People on the silver screen, as they call it. People in Hollywood, right? Or musicians and singers. You don't see them for a while. Why? Because they need some time to take off to experience something else and refashion, rebrand themselves. And then they find that new thing, and now that's what they put out there. And they convince themselves that they are that new thing, that new essence, so that when other people see them, they feel the presence of that. They don't feel their past. They don't bring up anything out of their past. They don't bring up their past hits of the music. They're just only concerned with what's being vibrated out, radiated out, that's impacting their field of consciousness, their field of awareness. So this is something that you're seeking. When you tell yourself that you are somebody, then you're giving yourself license or permission to kind of move forward. So you have to talk yourself up, as he says, and tell yourself that you are somebody. You got to convince yourself. And then what Dr. Michael Beckwith says, he says, the universe wants to help you. The universe is going to meet you halfway. So you get this feeling in the morning when you wake up, and it feels great, and you just go, yes. And sometimes you get this feeling that it feels off, but you feel that you're supposed to say yes. Why? Because whatever you feel in that blah kind of feeling, the universe wants to snatch that out of your way. So you're going to say yes, snatch it out of my way. Just the power of the word yes, to snatch it out of your way. And then you're opening up to the other yes, which now you're in position to move forward. You're in position to receive. You're in position to see everything that's flowing in your direction. And now you can be a little choosy about it as it's coming your way before you digest it. So you kind of digest it mentally, but you already digested it spiritually. Now you digested it mentally, and you digest it emotionally, and now it's on the inside, and you begin to walk with it. You begin to embody it. It's as I said before, it's like when the woman becomes pregnant, she's embodying the child. She's the one that's having this experience with the child. It's not just the child's heartbeat. It's not just the child moving and kicking inside the belly and the abdomen. It's the thought vibrations from that being on the inside, where the soul is contacting the being on the inside and radiating this information. And then mom to be goes, woo, I know who this child is. This child is going to be a child to reckon with. This child already knows me. I was perhaps in a past life, many past lives, with this child, the soul that's coming into this being. And before I give birth to this being, the soul is already in there consciously. And now it is ready to speak its word and paint on the canvas of its own life. So once you understand that you are this somebody, you're important. You're not just any old body. You are someone of importance. You are someone of importance. Then you are in tune with the universe, because you're aligning yourself with the universe, so the universe can bestow upon you the keys to your self. Putting yourself into position so the universe can tune you up to it so you can receive it. Like an antenna. You're radiating energy, but when that energy comes back, it goes right down that pole into the body. And before it's released onto the earth, and before a part of it is anchored into the earth, there's this part of you that has to be immersed in. When you're in your consciousness inside your body, you become immersed. That means you're inside the energy. And as you're inside the energy, you start to feel. So let me just take a moment. I'm getting a lot of white light. So this tells me that at some point, I've got to get you ready to go into the Akashic Records, and then we come right back out. So, you are somebody. And I'm going to say here, declare, which is also proclaim, and decree this. Okay? Now, you want to make sure, decree this, do it with positive feelings, because that's important too. If you don't say what you say with a positive feeling, it doesn't really touch its point. Okay? You don't feel like it's reaching out to somebody. You feel like it's escaping you on some level. So you want to like say this with great fervor, great energy, without a doubt. That's why I say you're going to decree it, because when you decree something, you're saying without a doubt in your mind. You're not questioning it any longer. You have already embraced and accept this truth. Remember, we're talking about it's the truth of who you are. That's what you're uncovering. You're uncovering these truths which are so vast and infinite that it will take you a lifetime to comprehend all of the truths and peel away the layers to get to the core of the truth. But eventually, when you get to the core and you get down into the seeds of this truth, you realize you've known this truth about yourself before. And this is why it is so important not to let someone on the outside of you change your program about who you are. Of course, you're going to seek assistance for someone to help you and pull you to the path, but every mystic walks down the path by him or herself. And many roads, as I say, many roads have traveled. You've traveled many roads, right? But only you will see what you're supposed to see for you. And eventually you get a chance to share this with everybody else that's been on the same path. If the path has just looked different, to them than it did to you and for you. But yet, when you reach the destiny of the journey, meaning that you're in the heart of the journey, then you realize that, wow, what took me so long to get here? If that's what the truth of who I am is in me, what took me so long? Well, sometimes it's ego. What people call ego, edging God out, the God in you out. You're pushing it away from yourself. You're pushing away the truths that people understand about you. You push away unconditional love, understanding, grace, so that you can look over your own mountain. You see what you need to see for yourself. So, what we're going to do, since we started roughly at 6, but we're going to take this up to 7:30 Mountain Time, which is about 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and also being out there at about 6:30 p.m. Pacific, and later you'll be able to catch this on my YouTube channel. I'll be able to upload it. Got two different ways that it can upload so that you can preview, see it, and enjoy it. Make sure you take notes. Let me sip some more water. What is important about this journey called somebody? See, you're saying, I am this being of light. If you want to say, I am a light being, the minute you give into that thought that I am a light being, the minute you start feeling I am a light being, then everything that's attached, that goes with that vibration, will begin, as they say, to show up. It'll show up before you. So you'll start having what they call synchronicity. You'll say, people say, wow, you got lucky. How did you get that house that quick? That deal? How did you get that car? How did you get that gig? That important job? How did you get that? Why? Because before that, you did what? You believed that you could get it. In fact, you stepped beyond belief or doubt, and you just knew that you're it. Tag, you're it. Somebody asked me, well, how did you get here to Albuquerque? You know what I did? And it was fun. And I was staying with someone else, and they're in Patterson, New Jersey. They used to call me Pop. They call me Papa Bear. A person older than me. They say, Papa Bear, how you gonna get there? I said, well, I'm gonna go online to the Albuquerque Convention Visitors Bureau, and they got a digital magazine, but they got a hard copy. And I'm gonna order me a hard copy of the Visitors Bureau of this magazine. When I got the magazine in my hand, that allowed me to see what it looks like over here. You know, to get some idea. And I would look at the maps of Nob Hill and the maps of the East Heights, Northeast Heights, North Valley, South Heights, you name it, Northwest. I would see all of that. I would see the different hotels. I would see what things look like downtown. And what really captured me was the hot air balloons. Even though we saw a little bit when we got here in 2010 for like 3 or 4 days, we were trying to keep up with the balloon. We were seeing it, but I had now had it in picture form and in digital form. And I tell you, I was on that website from New Jersey like every chance I had. If I had a chance to stay home and didn't have to go out to any appointments or no one saw me, I was streaming that website. I even streamed the jazz spot downtown called Jazz Bar. Jazzbah down there on Central Avenue. And on Saturday nights I see all these groups. And now I see them live. Hillary Smith and Honey House. Now I see them live in the street play. But I used to watch them streaming live from the Jazz Bar. And I would watch it and I would listen to it. I'd have dinner. One time I watched the Gathering of Nations. I've never been to it physically, and my sister Vernell and her husband Billy and their son William, they were here for the first one for themselves in April 2011, and I was trying to find them. I could see them, but there was 3,000, 4,000 people in the pit, as they call it, right? So I couldn't really see them, but I streamed it live all day long. I got up at 8 o'clock in the morning. I was streaming it, and I streamed it to midnight, watching it. I didn't even want to leave the bedroom of my other friend's house, watching it. That's when I was living in Hackettstown, New Jersey. I didn't want to leave. I was watching it all day long. I'd be in that website and I was clicking, 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 clicking. And then I see like, man, maybe I want to live here. Maybe I want to live there. I can't wait. I can't do this. Then I started digitally drawing hot air balloons in my own way to feed my consciousness. Read a little bit about Santa Fe. Feed my consciousness. Why? Because I am somebody and I wanted to be what? Somewhere. Specifically. Not just any old where. Somewhere specifically. So, I fed my consciousness, my awareness. I paid more attention. You know, I paid so much attention to the word Albuquerque that one day in Patterson I was on the bus. And I rode the bus where I was, downtown Patterson. And I would go to an art gallery they call City Gallery downtown. It was an old building, shopping area on the second floor, third floor. You'd go up there, and on one end was the movie theater up there. And just before you get to the movie theater, they had on two sides of the hallway, they had this art gallery. Artists would go in their studio and paint and sell their stuff, right? What was so unique that one artist I met, to give you how powerful words and thoughts are. That's because I'm somebody and I'm moving somewhere soon. So guess what happened? This is what I did, and we're going to take a walk into the Akashic Records. This is what I did. I saw an artist pass me for the first time. This guy, and he and I are good buddies. His name is David Buckbinder. He lives there in Fair Lawn, New Jersey. I didn't know who he was. But my mind was so focused on New Mexico that when he passed me, on his back, energetically was the word New Mexico. And I went over to him and I started talking. I said, excuse me, I don't want you to think I'm getting into your business, but I do metaphysical and spiritual things, and sometimes I see images and I see energies. When you walked past me, I looked at your back of your sweatshirt, and etherically the vibration said New Mexico. I said, do you have anybody in New Mexico? He said, yeah, I have a sister. She's a rabbi. She lives in Hamas. Now, I've been to Hamas since I've been here. Haven't met his sister yet, but I've been to Hamas several times. So, at the Pueblos, going for feast day. But excuse me, that was a thing to be reckoned with, to see the word on him and then ask him, and then he identifies it that his sister is a rabbi and she lives in Hamas, New Mexico. And where was I? Patterson, New Jersey. That was in 2009. 2010, in fact, 2010. Seeing and feeling those vibrations. And then one day, getting on the crowded bus to come back to my friend's apartment in Patterson, I'm sitting on the bus, and just before the bus turns this corner to take me closer to his house, his apartment, I look up and I notice there's a house for lawyers, a house for dentists, and then internal medicine, Dr. Juan Albuquerque. The bus has passed that thing 1,000 times. I didn't notice it till that particular day. The bus slowed down, and I said, that's the message. I'm going to Albuquerque. This doctor's name, Juan Albuquerque, internal medicine. I kind of looked at it as the internal chi blessing me with this opportunity that I'm going to get to Albuquerque one day. Albuquerque, New Mexico. So I'm going to stop right there. Spirit wants me to take you into this journey. This is a guided journey where we're going to visit the Akashic Halls, the Akashic Records. Now, I'm going to tell you where they are, where the doorway is on your own physical being, body. When we have the pituitary gland sits at the base of the brain back there, and the pineal gland sits more in the center of the head. and it vibrates right across your forehead and right here, and it's sending out these energies. It's like your third eye, your single eye. But that single eye is connected to the master gland back down there called the pituitary. It's sitting at the base, at the top of the spine, like, but on the base of the skull, and that's another part you gotta tune into. And then you got a right temple and you got a left temple, or a right hemisphere and a left hemisphere, right? And all of these are going to come together. But in the middle, you're going to envision, and you're going to, if you want, I want you to take your fingers, the middle finger, the index finger, and the thumb of your right hand, and kind of touch gently in the part where you can bend your head back on the top of your spine or your neck. Just kind of touch, because that's where you're going to be seeing from. Even though you're going to see through your third eye, you're going to be seeing from the master gland. You're going to be seeing from way back there. And this is the screen. Your forehead is the screen, like a movie theater. So you're going to start to tune in. This is not any form of NLP. It's not hypnosis. I'm not hypnotizing you. I'm just going to take you there. So I want you to close your eyes down a little bit. I want you to breathe. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Like, inhale to the count of 1, 2, 3, 4, N, which is N means prepare, and then relax and breathe it out through the mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I want you to just do that on your own. As you know, I'm changing the tone of my voice. I'm dropping it down just so it's a little more soothing for you. And then you're going to go with this flow. But I'm not hypnotizing. I'm just using the tone of my voice, the sound, to take you there. So when we think of the word yes, we're yielding energy through sound. Yield energy through sound and yield energy through spirit. And the letter Y Kabbalistically means you're transforming this energy field, transmuting it, so that spirit takes over, spirit of you, of who you are, because you're somebody, right? And I want you to get right into that space and get very comfortable and allow yourself to go in there. And as you go into this site, this energy field, between the pineal gland and the pituitary gland, they kind of emerge and they kind of touch each other, like high-fiving, like two people. And they kind of embrace each other, that they're going to share something about your Akashic Records. The Akashic Records are the imprints of all of the things that has ever happened in this greater universe, the more vast, infinite universe. And this point in your body also holds the keys, the codes, the doorways, the chalices of information that are so vast and infinite that you know it's a past life, a future life, and a multiple life going across from one parallel to the next. We're just floating back and forth between the two. Aboriginals have said, medicine men and medicine women have said that when you are in your waking state, that is the illusion. When you go to sleep at night, that is the reality. Because in your dreams, you can do whatever you want. You can fly in your dreams. You can levitate in your dreams. You can walk backwards and don't fall in your dreams. You could change the outcome of a dream from a negative to a positive. So you're going to go within yourself. As you're going within yourself deeply to that point that your three fingers have touched, you're also going to know that there's a connection between the base of your throat, so just touch the base of your throat, and touch the center of your sternum, even with your physical heart. And you know all of these are going to come together. Even the kidneys and the adrenal glands on top are going to connect with your solar plexus and your navel, and also down to the point 2 to 3 inches beneath your navel. Now I know I'm giving you a lot of information, but your cells remember. And In order to see these Akashic records, you must pull up a memory bank within inside of you. So it's like you're looking inside of a vast museum. The museum is huge. They're very wide, but the corridors are very long. And as you walk into this vast energy, you begin to see many pretty paintings on the wall, vases on the floor, statues on the floor. You see a variety of tools that are all around you. And these tools that you see are going to allow you to step in and find a real somebody called you, male or female. But while we are doing that, we're going to make it even easier for you to pull up a file out of these Akashic records. These are the places where every part of the universe has touched, has had an experience, has flowed through, and connected with all the particles of light. And by the way, every particle of light is a positive charged particle of light, and then there's a magnetic particle of light, and they kind of float toward each other and then begin to stick upon each other. But what is so important about this mix of this energy in the Akashic realm is that you already know. You already know. So as you're approaching the Akashic area, where everything is embedded from time immemorial, meaning from infinite times back to infinite times forward, across the borders of light, parallel worlds, multi-universe, everything connecting through you though. It's there floating around, and the particles of light are full of divine intelligence and remembrance and recollection. So when you step through there, you're having a communication with the divine particles of light that are bouncing off of you, that are flowing through you. You're inhaling upon them. You're speaking your words into them. You're speaking or giving your feeling, and you're being embraced by it all. Just walk into it, float into it. And these energies are like on a little marble light table in front of you. There's a stack of what we call a tarot cards, reading cards with images on the back, but images when you turn them up. And I want you to just lay your hands on what you see. But I want you to seek out just what they call aces. Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Coins, Ace of Cups or Goblets, Ace of Swords or Daggers, Ace of Wands or Rods or Staffs. But when you see that ace, I want you to pull all the aces out and look at them. You can have them right to left or left to right. Just look at them. Then I want you to lay your hands on them. So both hands are touching all four cards. Your left hand is touching two, and your right hand is touching two, covering two. I just want you to absorb this energy as if it is electrical, and it is magnetic, and it's traveling up your arms. It's traveling into the heart center, because the heart is one of the biggest memory zones that you have. Huge petals of light. You feel the soles of your feet connect with this. You feel the spinal column connect with it. You feel the entire body connect with these cards. And next thing you know which one to walk through, because it's like a doorway in front of you. All around you, you see these cards floating, and you're able to just grab one in your consciousness and embrace it. And do that and walk into it. Just walk in and see what you see. For many, you're going to see mountain streams and rivers, valleys. You're going to see tall trees and boulders. You're going to see images written into the boulders. And for others, you're just going to see the element of fire and heat and warmth itself, which you might find people being extremely jovial, but people just generating new thoughts and generating new ideas. You're going to feel more youthful if you're seeing a lot of fire in there, because you just got this youthful part of yourself that's going on, and you're beginning to remember now. not only are you aware, but you're beginning to remember that there's something very unique about these Akashic records. And they're like discs, that you stick in your computer, just like a disc. You reach in there, you pull it out. But when you're reaching in, you can feel the light go up your hand, go up your wrists, your forearms. And if you're gentle enough, and if you're loving and unconditional enough, it will enter your body. You don't even have to take the disc out. You can just feel it. And in this Akashic Halls, which is like a very huge museum, you find a place to be seated or lying down. If you were able to pull the disc, it's like a crystal disc out, you're going to lay it on your heart center. If you didn't, you're just going to envision that you're laying on top of it, like a big bedspread, just laying on top of the crystal. And you're going to realize, as you lay there, that the place that you find yourself is changing, and it's spinning, but gradually. Just like inside a washing machine, the pole that's like agitating, going up and down. Shaking things loose. That's what's happening. Shaking things loose. And as things are being shooken loose, or shaken loose, you find things falling into your lap. Images falling into your lap. You see images of yourself, men and women, babies in a womb and child. You see yourself as an elder. But I want you to see what you see and feel what you see. When you're ready, you're going to say in your consciousness, I am that which I'm feeling. I am this person. I am this being. I am somebody. And this person is in me. It's a part of me. You're not just seeing it outside yourself. It's on the inside of you. And as you begin to walk this journey through in the Akashic Halls, I want you to kind of like stay right there. Stay right there. Take the feeling in. Just observe it. But the most important thing I want you to do is ask into the intelligent force field. Show me something that makes sense to me now. Why? Because you are somebody. But you got to see your direction. You got to see where you're going. So you want to do what? You're asking the elements, asking the ether, just speaking into it. Show me the most important experiences, the most important scenes, the most important seeds that I can utilize right now for greater success. And as you do that, pay attention to what comes up in your memory so that you can remember, piece the parts back together again. Just take this moment. See this place as your place. A place for you to come and explore. A place where you could sing to what you see before you. A place where you will want to listen quietly. This is the Akashic Records within you. And you're beginning to unfold a greater image so that you could see yourself. As you do that, just and know that you're going to remember. So you won't forget what you see, but you shall remember. And I'm going to say to you, you change your conditions by changing your self-image. So you see an image of yourself there. And there are numerous, infinite images of yourself, from the rags to the riches. You're going to see yourself. You're seeing deeply into yourself, because yourself may, stroll up and take a look at you and smile. It's looking in through a reflective glass. sort of like a crystal glass, and it's seeing you. So if you say that I am somebody, you can say, you can question yourself, well, who? You can say, I am the master. I am the ambassador. I am the artist. I am the musician. I am the conductor. I am the composer. I am the choreographer. I am the filmmaker. And I am the photographer. I am the film. I'm the energy of what it represents. But I want you to embrace it. I want you to embrace it right now, that this is who you know, who you are becoming, or you are already being that somebody, that someone right now. You are already that. So now you are what you think you are. While you're in this Akashic halls, the records, I want you to look around and say, that's me too. Wow. Get excited. That's me also. And as you say that, that gets absorbed back into you. It gets absorbed back into you. Where you get excited now. Go, yeah, that is me. That's what I looked like. That's what I was doing. That's what I was feeling. And that's when I had a very good life. So I shall have that life now. Just take it in. Absorb it. Embrace it. Know that you've gone from just somebody, you've gone to someone. You have now found the truth. And know that when you take this journey over and over and over again, you're going to see something different, or you might see a continuation of it. My suggestion is that you play this video one more time, this broadcast one more time, because you're going to hear certain jewels or gems that I'm going to emphasize, and they become seeds. So you keep seeing some element of yourself. And now as you see that element of yourself, you're going to do what? Talk yourself up into it. In other words, you're going to trust that you're going to become that. You're going to trust that. This is what you're seeing in the Akashic Records now. You're seeing your I am presence. Even in its minutest form. Even when you didn't know what it was in another lifetime. But you know now. And you feel solely connected to it. You feel the state of oneness with it. And you can realize you can draw more of them out into you. You could feel the light. You could feel the presence. You could feel the conversation. You could feel the conversation about longevity. About a legacy. You're going to leave an imprint into the dirt, into the earth, into the sand. You're going to leave an imprint for others to see and for others to follow. That's what you're going to do. So I want you to take it on. Not like a trouble, not like a weight, not like a yoke around your neck. I just want you to embrace the energy of who you're seeing and what you're seeing. And you will equate it with one of those four aces of the tarot. You might equate it to the diamonds because you see wealth. Or maybe you don't see wealth, but you know you got to have some. You can see the ace of cups. Ace of swords is, you know, your thought processes. Thinking and analyzing, trying to select the right thing. Eventually you got to balance the thought and slow it down so you can pick the right thing. But then you got from the swords, you got the cups. And then you got the diamonds. Well, diamonds and pentacles is about money. You know, you bringing more money into your life. You're about to lose some money, pay out some money, but you're going to get some money back. When you see the chalice, are you going to drink from the rivers of light and life itself? Are you going to be able to digest what you're taking into yourself before it establishes root, before it grows inside of you, meaning you're embodying it? You're carrying it on the inside of you, and now you're walking it on the outside. You're displaying it, but you're living it from the inside out. So that's what the wands are, this conduit of energy that's flying in and through you. You're opening yourself up. You're in the Akashic Records, and you just found yourself or several parts of you having different experiences. And you can see your past and you can see your potential future. But right now, you can see all these slight variations of you being carried out through the Akashic Records. You reach it in there and you're picking one, but it's full of many lives. You feel a state of oneness because you're able to see these things. You feel excited about it. You're still on the journey now. You didn't come out of the journey yet. You just stepped a little deeper into the journey. You realize that you could travel to this place because it's on the inside of you. It's not way out over there. There are some places that are way out over there in different fields of consciousness called constellations, light, but they're on the inside of you, lodged all over your body. Meridians all over your body, carrying the electricity and the magnetism within you, and your heart gives off a signature pattern of light that helps you to remember. And therefore, nothing escapes you as you remember. Remember means you're pulling all the right pieces back together to what? Recreate an image, or a new image is created. But nonetheless, you could feel the force field. And you feel like you're drawn, like you want to stay a while, but you don't have to live there. You just take the attributes and carry it over here and what? Exercise them. Just go a little deeper. Go a little deeper. Go a little deeper. Go a little deeper. Just keep going. Take a good, energetic look at yourself and feel who you are. Know that you're this higher source, but you're living in this world that you created called a reality. But you've been elevating yourself. You didn't fall backwards. You've just been elevating yourself, or you've been very patient, so you start paying attention to you. You start paying attention to you. You start paying attention to this real you. It's not masked up anymore. It's very vibrant. And as you begin to pay attention to this you, this new part of you, you feel a sense of peace. You feel a sense of happiness. You don't feel lost. You don't feel lost at all. You know this is you. It's so you can't help it. It is you. It is who you used to be or who you are now, someplace else, but you are who you say that you are. You're willing to go deeper inside yourself to see yourself. You have found an element of yourself that has some relationship to who you are now and what you're doing now, and what you're striving to become now. Just look, just feel, so that you can see you. That's what you want to do. You want to see you. As you're allowing yourself to see you, you are feeling you. You're feeling yourself at the same time. You are honoring you. There's a sense of oneness about you. You are receiving you. You're embracing you. You're accepting you. When you do that, you're saying what? Yes again. Why? Because why means to transform, transmute, transcend this energy field, which is your remembrance. And you see it as spirit, which is the letter S, which may express itself as sound and color and image. But yes, you're that and more. You are tuning in to this source of you. You don't feel disconnected. You know who you are. And you are loving who you are. So when we go back now and we say, I am somebody, you have defined it on some level. And it's been embedded in your consciousness forever. And it's not always way out here, it's on the inside. And it's stored in your memory banks, in your own Akashic Records, your own personal Akashic Records. And when you can meditate every day, you bring yourself closer to seeing the real you. And you see everyone and everything and every being around you as you, and they see you as them, so you must be one and the same. You just have an external expression that is slightly different. You are someone. You are someone of value. So you come to understand, or at least have a gentler understanding, that you rescue yourself. You rescue yourself. You bring yourself into fruition. You manifest, you materialize yourself. You took the mask off of yourself. You decided to say yes so that you could transform, so that you can be restored and remembered, brought back together through spirit. Then you used your breath and you spoke upon it, and it went into the ethers and formed you as you. You made yourself come here. You know, there are many ways, as you bring yourself out of this meditation, there are many ways in which you um, develop a constant contact with the source of your own divinity. One of the ways is that you could do it through books. Now, books and ebooks, and digital uh, things like DVDs and compact discs. And you could go online, or you could find a teacher. That's two now. You could find a teacher, or you could just wander through trial and error on your own. That's three, where you make some mistakes. You're just doing a solo act. And so, that's some of the ways, but you start really bringing yourself in to this greater source. And I'm going to kind of read it from the energy that I shared with someone earlier today. And as soon as I find it, I'm going to show you. It's like, whew, it's an amazing journey. Here are 7 steps that we do all the time. You learn from books, whether it's in online, offline, DVDs, CDs, you're listening to movies, whatever. You learn from teachers. That's another way in which you can acquire all this information. 3 is trial and error on your own in the world, or what you call the world. I mean, you're trying out a few things that you pick up in your mind, that you've read, that you got from teachers, and you've got enough. Now you're out there experimenting, so to speak, exploring. Or you go within and be led by a divine spirit, and you invoke everything. you start you start realizing I can be more empathic, more psychic, more intuitive. I can have this clairsentient feeling about me. I just know. I just know and I see and I understand. But I invoke everything. I raise up, I call up, and I tune into the angelic force, and I tune into nature and the animal totem and plant totem and the 4 elements: fire, air, water, and earth. You start tuning in that and spirits that are connected there. But then 5, be aware, pay attention. That means synchronicity will pop up. Things that oppose you will pop up, which is a sign that you are on the right path. If it's opposing you, something's in your way. Then it says remember, and then have fun along the way, okay? Because these things are functional. They should be practical to you. It shouldn't be difficult. You shouldn't be struggling with it. But you have to exercise your spiritual muscles, so to speak. And then you share, you teach, you mentor somebody, somebody's mentoring you, but you get it out there eventually. You get it out there eventually. There's so much for you to see, so much for you to receive, so much for you to experience. But then you can't hold on to all of it forever. You got to share it with somebody. You got to teach it to somebody else, either in conversation or actual class, and it's a fee exchange between the both of you. In any event, you have to have the experience. Have the experience. Enjoy the experience. Let it be known that you are the experience. We said earlier, I am that which I say that I am. I am someone, I am somebody, I am real. To yourself. You're not an illusion anymore, you're real. You stepped into the world to comprehend the true you. Allow yourself to do that every day by meditation. If you're blessed to have a partner or live with other people and they're on the same frequency with you, the more the merrier. You'll also be meditating together, solving issues together, creating harmonic peace in each other's presence and in the continuation of the surroundings, indoors and outdoors. This is your moment to shine. Don't wait. This is your moment to shine. So even take moments throughout the day and work on something that's leading you toward the goal, leading you toward your achievements, leading you toward to saying more yeses. Allow yourself to absorb it. This energy, newfound energy. You will not be left behind. You may wake up a little later, but you won't be left behind. I'm going to say that again. You won't be left behind, but you might wake up later, but nonetheless, you weren't left behind. You were brought forward, because everything is moving forward. Everything is moving forward. So you want to allow yourself to receive yourself, to express yourself, to be yourself. And now you realize Now you realize, now you remember who you are. You're this divine being, this divine soul. You're not lost, never have been lost, and you are here. You ever go into a mall and you're lost and you find a map and it says you are here? You are here. And all roads come through you. All roads lead you to yourself. You're not going to guess because you become a metaphysical scientist. You start exploring beyond you. But eventually, as you explore beyond you, you have to come back to who? You. You have to come back to yourself. This is the glory of who you are. This is the universal light of who you are. Because once you find one element of yourself, it automatically opens up a new world and you find more pieces of yourself. You start, as I said earlier, you have a blank canvas in front of you. You gaze at it long enough, you'll see light, a feel of light energy pop up, and it's swirling. Same thing that happens to you in meditation. Swirling thoughts and energies and feelings and sights and sounds and scents. They're all swirling, and then they what? Coagulate. They would pull together, and now you begin to see what you're about to paint on the canvas of your own life. You're about to live it now. Live it now. Be it now. Have it now. And do not worry about if someone says, well, you will have no money. It's all energy anyway. Money is energy anyway. We just give it a value. The value of energy is infinity. Infinity. The sign of Lemisket, infinity. Sign of the Lemisket. The figure eight on its side. You decide. Don't let someone else decide for you. You decide how you're going to feel. You're going to decide how you're going to go about making that feeling work for you. Don't let someone else decide. Because why? If you let someone outside of you decide, they're only looking from their vantage point of what they think or what they might feel. But they don't know or feel you because they're not in your shoes, so to speak. They're not walking your path. They might be walking beside you, but they're not on your path. You're not walking it together. You know that you shall succeed. You know you shall succeed. You know you shall succeed. You can't help but succeed. You are this being of light. You've been here before. You landed here before. But you decide when you go and come. No one decides for you. You decide when you go and come. No one decides for you. If you want to be here, you'll be here. If you don't want to be here, you can will yourself out of here. This is the beautiful power when you say yes. Get a book by Dr. Michael Beckwith called Yes is the Answer. Yes. Because he's talking about when you go with that flow of what yes is, then everything works on your behalf. You're surrendering to the infinite power, the infinite degrees. What is the word degree? An increment of light. You start flowing with it, not against it. then it begins to flow with you. You're going to have a little bit of mental resistance because you're in this physical form. So often when you're in this physical form, you're going to have a little bit of resistance, huh? You're going to be checking like, why do I have to do that? I know what you're saying, but why do I have to do that? You don't have to do anything that I'm saying. You can explore it for yourself. That's what you want to do. I'm just here to ignite. Turn on the light switch, and then you start doing the rest. You start coming into your truth. When you step into your truth, you're not going to go back where you didn't know a thing about yourself. You're not going to deal with the illusions about yourself. You're only concerned with who you are now. Who are you now? Who are you striving to be, striving to become? Who were you when you were here before? Tune into this new you. Embrace this new you. Allow this new you to be you. Before we close out, we got a full, almost 2 hours up in here. A little shy of 2 hours, but we did it. What I want to do is I'm gonna get this ready to download it over or upload it into YouTube. If I can't upload it, I'll download it and pull it in there into my account so that you can see it later on tonight by an hour or two. But I want to thank you for being patient with me. I know we started a little late. You know, we have a lot of things that are going on, but they're all positive. And so we want to allow ourselves to explore the positiveness in our own life, and that if we want to see positiveness, we got to be it. An elder friend of mine used to say, Bishop, you got to be about it. You got to be about it. In other words, you got to take it in your own hands and work it out for you. So that people, not only so that other people can see you, because you can see yourself. You want to remember who you are. That's the bottom line. You want to remember who you are. You want to know that you got it already. You want to know that no one can take away something that you already have. It's yours. That's the great thing. So if you want to be in contact with me about all this stuff I'm talking about all the time on the Circle Grace One with myself, brother Francis E. Revels-Bey, or on my blog Talk Radio every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and I try to be here 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I got a little bit more leeway. I can come on here just about any time I want and broadcast live and video stream. But you want to email me at iam.circleofgrace with the number 1 at the end at yahoo.com. That's iam.circleofgrace with the number 1 at the end at yahoo.com. I'm on Gmail too, iam.circleofgrace1 at gmail.com. That's iam.circleofgrace1 at gmail.com. You can call me on my Skype number and leave a message at 505-349-4722. That's 505-349-4722. I also have a all-purpose meditational decree request line. You listen to a 2-minute message. It's an all-purpose prayer and decree. You can listen to it 24 hours a day. Keep calling it back. Let it pick your spirit up. Dial 505-717-4722. 505-717-4722. When you call any of those 2 numbers, be sure you clearly give me your 10-digit phone number. And clearly state your name. I know some people like to go, well, I'm Annie B. or I'm Joe S. But, you know when you go into the white page of the directory, there's like 1,001 Joe S's, right? So give me your first name and your last name. I'm not going to spam you. Well, you can email me at any 2 of those emails, iam.circlegrace1 at yahoo.com or iam.circlegrace1 at gmail.com. I'm Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey. I'm glad to be here. My grace is your grace. I'm here the best I can every Friday, but the next couple of weeks there's a lot of quote-unquote moving going on. So We want to keep things rolling. If you're out here in the Albuquerque area, if you're out here in the Albuquerque area, I'm giving a presentation that I do once a month called An Evening of Remembrance with Brother Francis. If you're on my email list, you'll probably be coming tomorrow night. If you're on my email list, you're going to be at the House of Hathor, that we call it, which is my sister Vernell's location, and currently. And if you haven't gotten the email, just give me a shout out. I'm not going to give her address like this, but give me an email, and I will shoot you the flyer, the email flyer. You don't even have to open it up. It'll be right there when you open up the subject line. And the admission is $12 at the door before we get started. It's a guided meditation with me, and then I bring you out of the guided meditation, and everybody gets a spot spiritual reading. Some people get emotional wellness balancing that goes on. Also, my sister offers $20 for 30 minutes, a foot detox, and you can get on her Metatron healing mat in the healing room. You can get on the Metatron healing mat in the healing room for just $10 for 15 minutes. So we got three distinctive things, and then we're going to have some artwork there. Her son may show some prints and beautiful rock sculpture that he does, and I'm going to have some prints. I'll have some new things later because I'm working on very new paintings. So some of the prints you may have seen before, but you can get these prints at $5 a pop. $5 a pop. Other than that, people pay $10 and $20 for these digital prints done on computer, designed on computer. But in a few more months, you're going to have copies of some new paintings that are in there. You're going to be able to purchase those copies. Photocopy, printed copy of an actual painting. And you're going to be able to have fun. I want you to follow me on Facebook as Circle of Grace 1 because I'm selling artwork. I've got some beautiful artwork up, 16 by 20, Jimmy on Fire, an acrylic painting for about $300. He's looking to be in somebody's house. I got 11 by 14, Guardians of the Red Rock, and that goes for like $50. So get ready. People are getting ready for these things. I just sold, I had a painting called Dancing Free. That's already was sent east of the Mississippi. Somebody got that one for $40. That was a 11 by 14. I have another one called A Garden in My Mind. That goes for $60. That's 11 by 14 acrylic. I got a lot of stuff here. I want you to receive it as is. I'm not going to touch it up. I'm not going to frame it. You'll be able to frame it on your end. So if you're interested in the paintings that I'm selling and I showcase on my Facebook page, timeline page, and home page, you need to contact me as soon as possible. All right, the time it is now 7:28 p.m. Yes, Marie and Mike. Awesome, thank you. See you tomorrow night. All your friends that are coming out with you. We're going to rock it. We're going to have a good time. And it's going to be splendid. So now, in June, there's so much that's going on in the month of June. We're not going to have a meditation on the fourth Friday or Saturday, but we're going to do it in July, the last Saturday in July on the 30th. And we might do it in a little earlier in the day, not like super bad early, but we're going to do it a little earlier in the day so that people can kind of enjoy this place. And I'm not going to say any more right now, but we're looking to do something different. But I need to take a break because I've been doing this work 42 years. So I'm not going to do it next month. I'm just going to give myself a break because I need the break so I can energetically bring some new vibrations in that I'm feeling. So I want you to know, look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. Those of you that are going to view this later on, tonight, if you're here in Albuquerque and Santa Fe, Belen, Los Lunas, and you're available tomorrow, swing on by Friday, May the 27th. We're going to start at about 6:30 p.m. and it'll go to about, I know it's going to go up to about 8:30 p.m. If you like, uh, bring something to share with the group. We're going to have some light refreshments there to share with you. We're going to have a great time tomorrow night. And then we're not really planning to do something in June because we need to take a break, and I do. Been doing this stuff for 42 years, so I'm going to slow it down just for a month. Still be active with everything else, though, from phone consultations and mentoring to other things. So we have now reached 7:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is 8:30 p.m. Central, 6:30 p.m. Pacific, and what's that put us at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Woo! I'm glad to be here. I need to take a little walk. So that's another reason why I came here to the Southwest. If I had been over there on the East Coast, still doing this, I wouldn't be able to get up and go for a walk. I look outside and said, okay, I need to go to sleep. But I'm here in the Southwest, so I'm 2 hours earlier. So when I'm done with the show and there's light still out, I can go, okay, I can take a short walk up to the store and get a bottle of water or something and kind of chill out, relax, and talk to some neighbors maybe, along the way. So that's the great thing about living out here. I get a little extra time. Doesn't matter if it's daylight saving time. It doesn't matter if it's standard time. I still get 2 hours advance and get out. So my grace is your grace. See you here next Thursday at about 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which will be June the 2nd. June the 2nd. If you're on Blog Talk Radio with me, next Wednesday, June the 1st, we kick it off at 4 p.m. Mountain, which is 6 p.m. Eastern, a 30-minute show. That show is going to be called Dreaming for Success. I'm going to show you how to take a dream that you could have, turn it around, and put successful images in it. Then we're going to carry that out next Thursday here. We're going to talk about that as well. Dreaming for Success next week. Thank you for joining me. My grace is your grace. This is the Circle Grace One with Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey. That's me. I'm the founder of the Circle Grace One, founded on July 2nd, 1999 AD, under the aegis and the anointing of the Angel of Grace through Divine Providence. It's my spiritual and metaphysical ministry. It also has a 5-leveled, which I'm going to rewrite. I'm being told to rewrite it. My good buddy Atanat said I got to rewrite it, and you're going to have 5 levels, but it's going to be 5 courses, 5 different courses that you could take. I'm going to rewrite the Institute, 5 different main courses that you could take so that you can get this information and utilize it right away. And it'll be done at a shorter course, so it don't take you so long to get through it. See, the old way, when I set it up on February the 7th, 2009, called the Circle of Divine Grace and Remembrance, which was the Metaphysical and Spiritual Institute, it was like literally a 2.5 to 3 year program, costing you pretty much the $9,000-$10,000. Things are changing. Not that I couldn't get it, but I want to make sure that you get it. So I'm going to drop it down, do a little shorter, and tap it in a different way so that you can really get it. So you can get the Institute, instead of carrying it out into, 9 months or 9 weekends, you could get it in like 5 weekends, 4 weekends. Get it in 1 weekend. All of it compiled together for a simple fee. And you can walk out the door and boom, you're moving on it. And if you want more detail, we just get more detail on an individual basis or get 5, 6 people together, and we do it that way. All right. So my grace is your grace. Until next time, remember that divine grace is a blessing as we are alive and well in the age of remembrance. See you soon. Thank you again.